afternoon, everyone.
It is Friday. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Today is a very momentous occasion. We are really picking up steam, and I know that we are going to be unstoppable because we've added a member to our team that is going to take us to the next level. He is not only athletically gifted, he is academically gifted, and he is motivated for the right reasons. And that is to build our young men and women in this school. And that's exactly what we need. So today we are introducing to some of you and presenting to others of you our new head football coach, Coach Fly. And I would like you all to give him a big round of applause as he comes up. Thank you so much, Coach. Coach, I'm gonna let you have it.
Now, the first thing I will say to the football guys, you guys to sit up a little closer, but that's okay. We will get that understanding as we go forward. But first and foremost, I just want to thank, Dr. McKinley, Dr. Somerville, Coach AC, and the football players and the faculty and the staff and everyone for this opportunity, because this is just not an opportunity for myself, it's an opportunity for everyone in this room, because this is your program. This is something that you helped build. This is something that you value. That's probably the biggest thing that I have taken from meeting with the young men and even some of the young ladies is that you value this program. You truly care about this program. You truly care about it succeeding. And I want to apologize for what you've had to endure, but at the same time, what you've been enduring, what you've been going through, and the trials and tribulations and the perseverance that you have shown, that is something that you're going to be able to use for the rest of your life. That's something that you're going to be able to look back one day when life gets hard or something's going on in your life, and you'll be able to look back at your time at East when you went through a few different changes and you went through a few different coaches. So do not be upset about what you've experienced, because it's making you even stronger. So I've sit down with to build this thing together because it's something that we have to do together. That we have, and we'll put it together each and every single day. It's going to take steps after steps, day after day, but we got to do this thing together. We're going to play with relentless effort. That means showing up each and every day, taking the time in and time out to watch film, being persistent, showing up. That's the biggest thing that you got to do, even when you don't want to. We're going to be disciplined. That means when things happen on the field, when people try to get into your head, or when things happen in life, we're going to be able to withstand those storms. We're going to be able to still be focused. We're going to be able to think. We're going to be able to make great decisions even when times are hard. And we're going to have a brotherhood. Because I see most of the seniors that I've met with, that I've talked to, most of the seniors, you guys have been advocating for the underclassmen. You have been speaking up for those guys. Mr. Baker, the first thing he said, I'm going into my senior year, coach. Not only do I want to make sure that you're here for me, I want to make sure that you're here for the rest of my brothers and for each and every year that they're going to be here. So I really took that to heart. I really thought about that since I had that conversation with him. That's a true leader. And I've seen leadership qualities in each and every one of you. I've sit down with many of you. He talked about, his job and taking care of the football and taking care of his teammates. He wanted to make sure he's safe and protected. We're going to be safe and protected. We're going to have a true brotherhood. We're going to make decisions together. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm always going to go with your decision and what you make and what you say, but it's going to be taken into consideration. This is your team. I'm just happy to be a part of it. No one man or no one woman is bigger than the team. We're doing it together. Together. As a unit, we're going to learn ball, but first and foremost, education. Education is truly important to me. Education has took me further than sports has ever taken me. You've heard my story. You've heard about me losing 32 offers when I was in high school because of my grades, having to go the JUCO route and finally getting to Tennessee State, and persevering through that and graduating, being ineligible for those 4 years that I was there, getting my master's degree and finishing up my doctorate. My mom is here. I told you about my mom and how my mom raised 5 boys in a single-parent household, and I know some of you deal with those things as well. Some of you had to come from those backgrounds. My mom couldn't make every practice, but she made every game. And she showed up for me. And that's how I'm going to show up for you guys. I know some of you think that, if you've had coaches leave and be here a day and go on the next day. God willing, I will be here for a very long time. God willing, we'll work together for a very long time. And that's not going to end when you graduate. When I truly say family, I mean family. When you go to college, when you become husbands, young ladies, when you become wives, when you become family members and have a family of your own, I pray and hope that you send me an invite so that I can be there, so that I can show up for you even outside of school. If you got other things that you do outside of school, other sporting events, whether it's a recital or whatever, if you invite me, I promise you, if I got time, I will show up because I'm going to show up for you every single day. It does not stop. My daughter's a freshman at Austin Peay. My son is already doing his big boy job as an industrial engineer. So I don't got nothing but time to be about the action about you. Because I know my daughter's going to do what she's supposed to do. She's a straight A student, and my son is a good young man. And that's what I'm praying for each and every one of you, to make you quality individuals that are able to impact the community, because the community needs you to impact it in ways that it needs to be. Your futures are bright. We have a lot of different resources here at the school. We have a lot of different people who are all about you. And we want to see you succeed, not just in sports, but in life. So that's what I have for you. Any questions for you? Questions. I know the football guys have already been asking questions, but young ladies, anybody that just now first meeting me, if you got a question, I'm here to answer. There are no dumb questions. Now, there's some crazy questions, but there's no dumb questions. And whatever you want to ask, you may ask. Not everybody at once. Parents, if parents have questions. There you go.
What excites you the most about coming here and becoming a Mustang?
It's the kids, truly, and just how they were when I spoke to them, how adamant they were that they wanted to win, how adamant that they were that they're not a bad team, that they just need some guidance, that they just need someone to not give up on them. And just that alone, just my first meeting them when I came and done my interview in front of them and they had their questions, how attentive to detail they are. Because a lot of times people say about the youth, they say that they don't want to mess with this youth and this youth don't know anything. No, this youth, one thing about the young kids now, you can't trick them. If you are somebody who are not an honorable person, if you're somebody that's not a trustworthy person, they just not gonna fool with you. And that what really upsets people about today's youth. Because if they see you not being a quality person, they're not gonna come around you, they're not gonna talk to you, they're just gonna go about their way. They're not gonna be disrespectful, they just not gonna vibe with you like you want them to. So that's what excites me, them. Yes, ma'am.
Can you give me a little bit of your background, football background?
Yes, so I graduated from Humboldt High School, 2004. None of these kids in this room was alive at that time, none of them. I was the #1 defensive end and the #6 tight end coming out of high school at that time. Had 32 offers. I didn't know what the ACT was or my GPA until my junior year when Nebraska, Mississippi State, Auburn, and Alabama came to my game. And they asked me, what's your GPA? What's your ACT score? I didn't even know what a GPA was or what an ACT score. We didn't have a guidance counselor, low-income school. Not a very high-achieving school at that. Crowded, classrooms and things like that. And so I struggled with that because I wasn't able to sign on signing day. When signing day came around, I didn't have the ability to sign. I was in SPED for 9th and 10th grade year, not because I couldn't do the work, but because I was a class clown. I was always the one making everybody laugh. I was always the one that's loudest in the hallway. I was always the one who, in the cafeteria, beating on the table, rapping and joking on everybody standing on the table. So that's who I was at that time. It wasn't my ability, I didn't focus. But football came easy. That's why I was able to have all those offers. But once they saw my GPA, I didn't get it. Went to junior college, struggled at junior college as well because we had those pre-req classes. I only had a 2.7, but I was able to transfer. I know I just talked to Mr. Tucker, right? Just talked to Mr. Tucker, and I actually applied because I talked to the coaches at University of Tennessee. They wanted me to come to University of Tennessee. Applied twice, could not get in because of my grades, and then my academic performance, and also my conduct at college because I still was, loud in college as well. So ended up going to another junior college, got my GPA up to a 3.6, transferred to Tennessee State University. Got there August 2008, was kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit, still academically eligible, went through all of spring, got a starting role, but once we got into the next fall, still didn't have my grades in the right place. So I was academically eligible, so I had to sit out that whole entire year after working hard to get there. But instead of me actually buying in, instead of me actually locking in and doing what I was supposed to do so that I can be eligible next season, I kind of got even more invested in partying and still cracking jokes at school. And so I was ineligible going into my junior year as well. So got into my senior year, still ineligible. And so I didn't get to play all 4 years of college because of my academic performance. Now, that doesn't say that I didn't have the ability because I still got to go to the NFL Combine. Probably one of the first people that got to go who didn't have no film whatsoever, but they knew who I was. Went to the Combine, performed pretty well. I didn't run the 40 in the time that I was supposed to run it because I was supposed to play outside linebacker when they ran 3.4s. I ran a 4.6, I was supposed to run a 4.5. Ran a 4.69, so basically a 4.7. Did some CFL stuff, played some indoor football, but never was able to regroup and recapture what I had because of my academic performance. If I would have had the grades, if I would have had some more film, I would have had a better opportunity. So that's why I advocate so much for grades. That's why I advocate so much for the young men to have a plan. When I graduated, I didn't have a plan. I didn't know what I was going to do. I thought football was my end of everything. It was my everything. I cried about it, upset about it, and that's when I really got invested in North Nashville and coaching flag football 5-year-olds, and started doing the Big Brothers Big Sisters program, and I found my purpose in something else other than football. I was helping young people, being a part of their lives and pushing them into sports and helping them understand what they need. I told a young man yesterday, I don't name drop. You will never hear me name drop about a young man or a young woman that I coached because I didn't give them their talent. The Lord did. I just didn't mess it up. So I have a lot of young people that I've coached who NFL, NBA, some of you see on TV still now, came from Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, North Carolina, won a CIAA championship, one of the number one of all of D2, coached at the University of Miami before that, where we had the opportunity to have one of the number one draft classes in University of Miami history, and before that, Elwood Waters. So I kind of know ball, but most importantly, I know young people.
What's your prediction on next year's record?
I predict that we're going to play with relentless effort. I predict that we're going to be disciplined. And I predict that we're going to have a brotherhood. Because this summer, I'm really looking forward to these workouts, us being together, having times to have barbecues together, having times to go to the rock climbing, to go jogging. I'm going to put my cleats on and I'm going to get out there and run and do everything that you do as well. Because I'm going to show you that even the old guy can move around a little bit and that it's not just that bad. So that's my prediction, that we're going to do and be better than we were last year. So as long as we're taking that step ahead, we'll be all right. Any more? Yes, sir. I should have known you had a question. You've asked a question every single time.
What do you think about our equipment situation?
So, the equipment situation, I haven't had a chance. I know we talked a little bit about equipment yesterday. I haven't had a chance to do inventory, but that is on my list. I've already turned that into Dr. Somerville and Dr. McKinley about the list that I want to do for the first 90 days. Check the equipment, see what we have. And then I got a new best friend who's going to help us fundraise and that's going to help us do things. She gives amazing cookies after the game that I've heard, but I've also heard I've I've also heard that those cookies are not distributed equally and that everybody's not getting the same amount. So we gotta make sure that if we're a true brotherhood, we gotta make sure that we're taking care of everybody. So if it's 2 or if it's 3 or whatever for everybody, we gotta make sure that everybody gets that. But that is high on my list because we gotta have safety. We need guardian caps. We gotta make sure that we have water all the time. We gotta make sure that you have tape and spatting if you need tape and spatting. We got to make sure we have the right cleats because I know everybody doesn't have the right cleats. We got to make sure we have the right shoulder pads, the right practice jerseys, conditioned helmets. We got to make sure that we have all these things for you to keep you safe because that is our job. It's not my job to run you into the ground. It's not my job to try to stand over you as if my position is higher than each and every one of you. No, we're on the same level. It's your team. It's your team. It just got a name that it's the head coach, but it's your team. So making sure that you're safe. My son played football. So if I wouldn't send my own son out there in bad equipment or not having the things that he needs, I'm not going to send you out there like that. So. I know you got a question, Seven. I know you got a question. I know you got a question. Huh? You got.
So let's say we have a bad loss, right?
Mm-hmm.
How would you how would you handle practice the next day? And
Right.
what would be your words to lift the team spirit?
So my job is not to be emotional. I mean, I can have emotion, but I can't let that emotion take over and try to punish because we had a bad game. Maybe I didn't prepare you well enough. Maybe the scheme wasn't good enough. Maybe the play calling wasn't good enough. So you first got to evaluate yourself before you try to go to someone else. Now, I would never blame players for a loss. I would never blame you for a loss. That starts with me. So the preparation that I got to have for you guys and the next day, I mean, I have a one-day rule, win or lose. That Friday, I can feel it, whether we win or lose. Saturday, it's a whole new day. We're going to preparing. And then we're going to start from the ground up. No matter if we lost or no matter if we won, we're going to take those steps to get better. It ain't going to be out there running you. I'm not a cusser. I'm not going to be cussing you. I'm not going to do those things. You're not going to hear that from me. So we're not going to be running because we lost. We're going to be learning, and getting better.
So it being in the spring, or like in the spring,
Right.
you know, recruit like younger talent. Like,
So
they already know about our situation.
exactly. So I got to go to the middle schools. I got to meet with those coaches at those middle schools from our feeder schools and just be a part of the community. I truly believe we're going to get what we need. Now, does that look like we're going to have 150 or whatever? I can't give you numbers, but I can tell you that I'm going to be on it and that I'm going to do my job. And I'm expecting y'all to help too as well. I'm expecting y'all to have word of mouth and to tell people what we have. And I'm expecting you to help build this program. So I get that, but whether we have 50 or have 20, if we're prepared and we're doing what we're supposed to do, I mean, I watched 2 hours of film. I watched the first 3 games. Just preparation, really. Preparation, knowing where you're supposed to go, knowing the play call, and if we trust it, it truly does not matter. It truly does not matter. Have you ever heard of Innsworth in Nashville? Yeah, so I coached at Innsworth. Guess how many players we had? 25. Quarterfinals, 25 players. Quarterfinals with 25. And we won the division. So it really doesn't matter if we prepared and we go to work. Because I'm going to go to work. You going to go to work?
I know some of us have, like, my parent last year, we didn't have as good as communication skills that my parents
Right.
did. So how would communication skills be with you, and how you run your program?
You will always know what's going on. I'm always going to go through you guys before we do anything, and also make sure that I'm communicating with your parents as well. Coming from being a college football coach, we did the same thing. We had a system where we had a group text for the parents. We also had a group text with the players, and then position groups and things like that. So I plan on having a coach for each position group so that the conversation starts at the team level, and then doing my due diligence and going through and reminding everybody and telling everybody what's going on as well. Because communication is key. If you don't know what time we practice on, during the summer or things like that, I can't be mad. I'm sure if I didn't do my part. And I can't communicate the night before. Hey man, we got it tomorrow at 3 o'clock. And it's Friday and it's 1:40, and I expect you to be somewhere tomorrow at 4 o'clock, and you already might have plans. So each schedule is going to be printed out beforehand so that you can go ahead and mark the dates on the calendar. Hey, Monday through Thursday, this Thursday, we'll be here from 3 to 4, blah, blah, blah. So you and your parents will know that, because I know all of you don't have cars and you may not drive, but you will know what's going on, and I'll make sure of that. And if you need a ride, I'm going to come get you too as well. So that's no problem. I told you had a question, Seth.
So like this summer, like as far as like going to like colleges, do you have anything like set up for that or like in mind?
So are we going on visits or are we going 7-on-7?
Both.
Both. So basically what we'll try to do, we will try to schedule that based on when they're having a 7-on-7 so that we can knock out 2 things with 1 trip. Instead of us trying to travel to University of Tennessee for a 7-on-7 on a Thursday, and then they got a campus tour next week. So if we can get it on the same day, then we can knock out more schools. We can go to University of Tennessee, we can go to Carson Newman in Jefferson. We can go to different schools on our way back so that we're hitting everything. Because if people don't know about you, then they're not going to be able to recruit you. You're not going to be able to find places. But also going to D2s and D3s as well, because they offer full scholarships as well. They give opportunities as well. There's a lot of people playing in the NFL and so on and have great jobs from D2 and D3 schools. Actually, right now, the #1 receiver who's going to be drafted comes from a D3 in Florida right now. So D3, he's at the Senior Bowl right now cutting up. So it doesn't matter where you go. If you play, they can find you. So we will have that schedule, and you will have that beforehand. I mean, Coach AC can attest to that. I've already submitted my 90-day plan, and I've already listed multiple questions, dates, and times, because I want to know so I can get that communication out early before you get to plan that trip to the Bahamas. I know you probably got many places you're trying to go this summer. So you're going to know before you have that chance.
How would you handle on-field conflicts? Like, let's say a quarterback and the offensive line got into it because the offensive line wasn't blocking. How would you handle a conflict? How would you?
So are we in game or are we in practice?
In practice.
In practice. So first off, we'll call everybody together and we'll figure out what's going on. First off, we're not going to cuss at each other. We're not going to fight at each other. I understand there's going to be some shoving sometimes. It's football. There's going to be some shoving, but there's not going to be any disrespect. We're not going to tolerate that. We're not going to be calling people out of each other's names and things like that. Like I said, I'm the oldest of 8 boys. So I know a thing or two about roughing some people up and running around and doing things. So that conflict to be handled and squashed there between the players, the coaching staff, and everyone, because we can't have things carrying over into the locker room and carrying over into the school, because football business is football business. We don't need you going to your 3rd period class and you talking about what happened the other day and now it's going everywhere, and then somebody may feel like they're being disrespected now. So now that person is angry because they didn't feel like they got the most out of that argument. So now they want to fight, and now they're not going to play hard on Friday. Now they don't mess with that person and this, that, and the third. So now all things are going to be squashed right then and there. We're not going to let anything linger. We're not going to let anything linger at all.
So, as far as you being the head coach, like during practice, do you want to like be with a specific group, or do you just want to be the head coach?
No. If I got to get water, I'm going to grab water. If I got to teach quarterbacks, I'm going to teach quarterbacks. So I'm a coach. I'm a coach. I'm not a receiver coach, a DB coach, a football coach. I'm a coach. So I'm going to coach you in every aspect of life, and I'm going to coach you in whatever aspect I'm expected to on the field. But I do plan on having a quarterback coach, having a OC, having a DC, even though I have a ton of experience in defense and having #1 defenses in college and in high school at the DC level. But I do want people to be overseen, because the more people that we have, the more discussion that we're able to have, instead of just one person making all the decisions, like if we got multiple people making decisions, it's going to be more of a quality outcome than if one person just says down the middle, this is my way or the highway. So we have multiple people, that'd be good. I want an O-line coach. I'll probably be mainly a lot with linebackers, D-line, and O-line, because that's what I love. I love the trenches. I love to be down there with the guys and making sure that they know what they're supposed to do, because if they're blocking up front, you can throw the ball. Receivers are open. If D-line is doing what they're supposed to do, the back end gets interceptions because they're rushing the quarterback, and the linebackers are able to flow and get 100 tackle reaches every season. So if we're doing what we're supposed to do up front, everything else will work out. And then I plan on having a big, say in special teams as well, because special teams have to be on point, because if you don't got special teams, you ain't gonna win.
I got another question. So how would you go about preparing us mentally and physically against teams like USJ, who try and tear us down mentally? I'm not gonna say the word they be saying, but they say it a lot.
I'm sure of it.
And how would you go on preparing us gameplay-wise and scheme-wise against such a fundamentally deaf team?
So we're going to be fundamentally sound. You didn't hear what I said? I said relentless effort, discipline, that's on everything, and brotherhood. So breaking down film, we will break down film. Offense break down film. Defense will break down film. And then we're going to go even further. Team break down film. And then we're going to take another step. QBs watching film. Running backs watching film with their position coach. O-line watching film with their position coach. D-line, then linebacker, so that we can cover every base, so that you know exactly what's going on. In the 3 games I watched, even the USJ game, they're not that great. They're not as physically gifted or as talented. They just know where they're supposed to be at, and you guys weren't where you're supposed to be. Even the Arlington game, Arlington has 120, 30 kids. They just knew where they were supposed to be. It wasn't that they were more physical or just an overall better team. If you know where you're supposed to be, that's going to help us win. That's going to help us be consistent. So preparing you throughout the week in practice with film sessions, Monday for the most part will always be like a glorified walkthrough. Whatever we did Friday and whoever we're preparing for, Mondays will be a walkthrough. And film day, heavy film, walkthrough day, lift day. So we lift in season 2 as well. We don't stop lifting just because the season started. We lift year round. You're going to do that in college if you expect to play college football. You're going to do that in life if you get a job. You can't just say I'm going to go to work in the fall and I ain't going in the summer because I want to break. Don't work that way. So we're going to be consistent on every single base, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Make sure your emotions are intact, because what we can't have is we're in a tight game and we got a guy thinking about themselves and they go push somebody, get a 15-yard, and we lose the game because of that. What we also can't have is a guy feel like he's physically outmatched because we didn't get him prepared in the spring, summer, and fall lifting weights. We also can't have a guy and we're supposed to run scissors. You know what scissors is? 7?
Scissors. It's
He don't know.
That's a pass.
It's a pass.
That's a corner. And along that. Scissors. No, I know scissors. No, is there a corner in a post?
Come on,
But
son.
no matter what we're calling, whether it's a flood concept, whether we call it sticks or whatever, that guys know their routes and know what's to be expected. I expect quarterbacks to go through their progressions. If 1 is not open, you need to go to 2 and 3. 2 and 3 not open, I expect the O-line to hold up. And it's the same thing on the defensive side. I expect the front end to hold up so that the back end is successful. What we can't have is running backs breaking to the second and third level with a head full of steam and nobody has done their job up front. Now that's a glorified touchdown, because it's going to be hard to stop somebody when they're going full speed at you like that. So we will be ready. We will be prepared.
How long will summer practices be? Like hours wise?
So
I know you said morning, just 2 hours.
well, we will talk about far as morning or evening, but I think we're all kind of pushing towards the morning. But if the thing is, I'm not big on being out there and just wasting time. I'm not gonna keep you out there 2-3 hours just wasting time. I expect us to be in there an hour and some change, maybe 2 some days, depending on what we have and doing what we're supposed to do.
if practice starts at 8 a.m., we should be outside, everybody, feet on the line by 7:50. Everybody out there on the line by 7:50 doing what we're supposed to do, we'll get out on time. If everybody drag and everybody show up at 8:05, now we're pushing that time back. And now we got to stay longer because guys won't do what they're supposed to do.
What about things like traffic and, you know, like moms waking up late, moms not wanting to go? So how would you deal about that if it wasn't the players?
I get it. So that's your job too as well, because there will be a schedule. You will know. What's today? Today is February the 20th. So say for instance, we got a practice schedule and it's already outlined for May the 20th. You know that May 20th, we're supposed to be out there at 11 a.m. You know a month in advance. So that's your job to tell your parents, and also we will continue to keep communicating with your parents. I will do that myself to make sure that your parents know as well. And now if we get to the night before and you let me know within time, don't let me know at 10:50, oh, I ain't got no ride. That's not helping nobody. You gotta let me know the night before, or you need to let me know at 6, 7 a.m., just text me. Now, that don't mean I'm going to read it at that time, but when I finally get up, I can see it and I'm aware, oh, I got to go pick up Malik. I got to go pick up this person and that person. So if you're letting me know in time, then we can help you. But if you're not letting me know until 5 minutes beforehand, how I'm going to get you? You really didn't want to come. You really were just trying to use that as an excuse. So now you're hurting your brother, so that's when we messing up with their brotherhood. Communicate. As a young man, you're going to have to communicate. You're going to have wives, children, you're going to have businesses, you're going to be in college, young ladies, everybody. You got to communicate. You have to open your mouth and communicate. Always.
What's it called? And you said we're going to be doing lifts during the season.
Yes.
What's it called? One of the biggest important things to me is what's it called? How we power up. What's it called? Heal our body.
Yeah. Recovery.
Recovery.
So we will have active recovery. That was another thing that was my job at University of Miami and Edward Waters and at Johnson C. Smith University. I was the director of football performance. So it was my job on the whole performance basis. So I also ran the nutritional part. So it's my job to make sure that we have nutrition. It's my job to make sure that we have recovery boots. It's my job to make sure that you can see the athletic trainer. It's my job to make sure that your body, whether you need a ice bath or things like that, or you got bumps and bruises. So that's my job to take care of you, to make sure that you're able to practice. Another thing, like, we're not going to bang like that every single day. Like, we will be in shells most days, where that's just the top part. We'll be in shells, but it's a thud tempo. You know what thud tempo is?
Yes, sir.
So thud tempo is full speed to thud. Because we got to make sure that everybody's safe. We can't have people getting hurt in practice. Now, we're going to practice hard. We're going to do what we're supposed to. Now, we will have those days, but it will be on the schedule. Hey, this Thursday, that's full practice, full pass. Hey, this Tuesday, that's full pass. It will be on the schedule, so you will be able to see it. But my job is to make sure that your body is 100%, because as we go through the season, you're going to get wore down. And if you're not recovered properly or fueled properly, you're not going to be able to give 100%. And then ultimately it's not getting the most out of you, and then your teammates can't get the most out of you, and then the team suffers. So I will with that every day. Every day.
And not even just like on the front part of the back, like what about like prolonged injuries? Like I've had shoulder issues for the past like 2 years.
Right.
And it's terrible.
Right.
Like how would you go with that?
So did you wear a shoulder harness? So were you seeing an AT each week, athletic trainer?
No.
So we will make sure that we have those things covered as well, so that we're seeing the AT each and every week. Because if you're only seeing the AT once a month, that's not going to help you. So making sure that we can schedule, whether that's massage or meetings or whatever with the AT, so that you can tell them what's going on. Because I'm not a doctor, I'm not an athletic trainer. I can see how your body's performing and know that you're injured and know that you're hurt. But there's levels of professionals that I will have to lean on to help us, to make sure that we're taken care of. So We'll get you fixed up. You'll be 100%.
So, I know you said that you went through it 2 a day, but like, I feel like they really build the chemistry and it
Right.
really like help with mental tough and all
Right.
that. And I feel like this would really develop me.
So what's your ideal of 2 a days?
Like,
What do you see? What have been traditional 2 a days here?
Like lift in the morning, practice in the afternoon.
Right.
8 to 3.
That's fall camp. That's fall camp. You know, at the college level, when I was at the college.
That was every day though. That was every day.
That's all there is.
So we here from like 7 to 11,
Mhm.
and then you go get food, and then you come back, watch film,
Mhm.
and then you chill for like 30 more minutes, and then we out on the field. But
Yeah.
like the morning practice was the lift,
Right.
right?
We will have times that are like that are similar to that, where we will be watching film. Maybe this day is an active recovery day. We may lift and then have a recovery day, and then there'll be lunch or dinner provided. So you're able to bond, because the more that we're around each other, the more time that we spend together, the more that glue is going to be able to stick together. When you trust your brother, you know, if you got A gap, if you're the linebacker, you got the C, and if you're a corner and you know that you got pass first, and if we all trust each other, then that means that we know that everybody's doing their job, so that now I can't do my job and their job, because then we're gonna lose that way. So we trust each other, and those times are built in the summer. That trust is built in the fall. That trust is built in the weight room. That trust is built in practice. So we will have times like that. So I know I said hour and a half. I'm talking about like practice or something like that. So practice won't drag like 3 hours, but we will have days where it's split. So does that make sense?
I had another question. It's about injuries. So I will say, me and one of my teammates, TJ, we both have hand injuries. And I really just found out I tore a ligament in my hand. So how would you go about doing alternative workouts to some stuff I can't do?
Yes.
We can't do.
Yes. So, and then that goes back to his question earlier when we talked about meeting with an AT, athletic trainer. And so the athletic trainer and having PT and letting us know what you can and can't do. Because if you got a hand injury, I'm big on cleans, I'm big on different things like that, those pulls from the ground. So if we can't do those, then we have alternative workouts for those people, so that you make sure that you're still getting stronger and you're still getting better. So there will be an alternative for you, and there will be times where you get to meet with the AT, and the AT will have stuff for you as well. So that's just about me communicating with different people and finding more resources for us to tap into, so that everything is taken care of. Say you good? And then, back to his question when he said the 2 a days, I would try to make sure, now I can't say that it happened every time, but that will help us on timing if food is already here. So when we lift in the morning, then we got food. So when we taking that break and everybody's bonding and things like that, and then we go into our next phase. So we already have food here. We ain't got to have people going down to Chick-fil-A and then they late to the next section and they're like, oh, cool, man, we in Chick-fil-A line. No, if we already have it here, then there's no excuse.
And my last question. And this is probably a personal question, but like, who do you look up to in yourself every day?
My mom for sure, my grandmother. Just because of what I've seen them deal with, what I've seen them go through. I mean, I always had shoes. I always had stuff. Like, when I look back at it, like, you know, I had to tell my brother, my brother was like, man, we ain't had this or we ain't had that. I said, dude, we always had the newest of shoes. I know none of y'all remember 3rd Street over there off Lamar. We had 3rd Street. We used to go over there and we used to get all of our clothes from 3rd Street. So we always had the newest stuff. You know, it may not been, you know, always the realest of things, but it didn't really matter. We always had the nice clothes. We always had it. Before Nike Tech, we had the throwback jerseys and things like that. So to see what they've done, you know, even to this day, my mom still goes to work at 5 a.m. She gets off at 2. She goes to her next job 3 to 11. So just to see her hustle and how she's able to do that, she's been doing it my whole life. And she don't do that because, because she has to a lot of times. She do that because she loves what she does. And she loves to help. My grandmother, another story. My grandmother is a person that she's a straight shooter. She's going to tell you the truth no matter if you want to hear it or not. And so me hearing those truths, me hearing those different things, them instilling into me, taking me to church all the time, whether I wanted to go or not. Sometimes I'll fall asleep in church as a young man, but even when I was there, I still was hearing. And a lot of things that I say now, and a lot of things that I'm going to say to y'all is things that my parents have said, my mom and my grandmother said to me. So those are people that I look up to. I don't really look up to celebrities or anything like that because I don't know those people. I don't know their life like that. But I do know my mom and my grandmother. You good, Seven?
Got a question? It's your time to speak up now.
We will have those times where, and most of them I already know, that some of them I've already met with one-on-one. They will have those times. And then I know some of the players, they want more of a isolated you guys, because I know some things. We will be able to have those conversations where everyone gets to know everything they need. So I know some of y'all didn't find something too.
All right. So we have, right now, guys, go ahead and get up to the front. All right, guys, at this time, we're going to go ahead and release football players, media. We're going to keep you guys behind.
Can I get a picture of the football player?
Yes, absolutely. Football team, come on up.
Even though everybody wear their stuff and everything else. I told him so. At least he got something. He got the whole coat on over there.
I'm good. How are you?
Also, turn that collar down for me, man. Let me get you squared away.
I'm not on the football team. I'm not saying yes.
What a highly challenged people always try to get.
Highly challenged. Yeah, bro, you should be in the back. You should be in the back.
Get in tighter. With the tall guys in the back. Pretend you like each other.
Smile.
Not moving, bro. You can move.
All right, guys.
All right, guys, y'all good. Thank y'all so much for being here.